Hey everyone, I can't wait to show you how I create this really cool colorful tray using some acrylic paint and art resin to make it pop. So here we go. I bought a shelf from Home Depot. It's a 24 by 12. I chose some of my favorite colors to mix together. This is Master's Touch brand in Liquitex. The 4x4 porcelain tile I purchased from Home Depot as well. I do like the rough backing because it's a little bit more durable than just the flat back tile. And the paint brushes are just simple paint brushes I bought from Michael's a while ago, nothing expensive or too fancy. I started with painting my tray in just simple, colorful shapes. I would definitely say have fun with this part, you guys. Don't overthink it. Just paint some cool shapes, whatever pattern that you like, whatever color you like, just anything that's gonna lift your mood and brighten your day. I always like kind of fluorescent pinks, greens, yellows, and so that's exactly what I used. So after I finished painting my shapes, I did go ahead and mix some black paint with water because I decided I wanted to outline my shapes in a little bit of black just to add some contrast, some interest, and make the colors pop even more. Adding water to the paint definitely makes the paintbrush kind of glide against your tray and a lot easier to outline your shapes. So after I finished outlining my shapes, I let it dry overnight, and as you can see, the black really added a lot of contrast and makes the colors pop so much. So my next thing is I'm going to add a little bit of metallic. I like metallic on everything. I think it just adds a little bit of sparkle. My favorite brands of metallic marker are Deco Color. Krylon is great too, but I like the gold color on the Deco Color brand. And so what we're going to do is just go ahead and line your black using your metallic gold marker. It's really easy to do. You can make the line thick or thin as you like. I use gold and silver for this tray. I was thinking about using rose gold, but I went ahead and just used the gold and silver, and I love how this turned out. I did let my tray dry for a couple of days with the fan on it just because it's really important that your acrylic is nice and cured before you start pouring your resin. So after it was dry, I did decide to add a little bit more sparkle using some glitterific paint. I just added 2 colors to some of the shapes and I love the way it turned out. Hello everyone, so we are now at the exciting portion of our pop art tray journey, and that is the resin part. This is my favorite part, obviously, and I just want to give a big shout out to ArtResin. They were kind enough to send me some really cool supplies. We have a 1 gallon order of ArtResin here, half gallon, and this will go a very long way towards making coasters, trays, really everything. And this is the size that I usually order, or I'll do the 2 gallon. We also have the amazing Maker's Torch. This can be found on artresin.com on their website. It's only like $30 some, and you guys, if you haven't used this before, it's so simple to use. You can buy the butane from Home Depot or Lowe's, and it took me about 15 seconds to fill this little thing. So, and this will last a while too. It pops your bubbles if you don't want to use a heat gun, but it's super easy and it's so cute. I love this little thing. And then we also have an amazing accessories kit that's available on their website as well. And this thing comes with a reusable stirrer. I know a lot of people like to use the wooden popsicles, but this is reusable. You can just peel the resin right off when you're done. And then we also have, and I love these things, okay? So if you're like me, you're always trying to find something to stand your trays on so it doesn't stick to the table or your artwork. And these little things are resin stands, also reusable. The resin peels right off when you're done. And these little things are amazing. They come with the kit as well. We also have an ArtResin spreader. So you can use, you can use your gloved hands, or you could use this thing, which is pretty cool because it kind of prevents you from missing spots just because of the, the edges on it. And there's like 3 different edges on there. Then you also have a smooth side if you like that. And then it comes with the gloves as well. So I just want to say thank you, ArtResin, for sending me some really cool stuff. I cannot wait to break it open and use it. I have literally been using ArtResin for about 9 years now, and they've always been absolutely fantastic. It has a very high UV resistance. A lot of the paintings around me I've had for more than maybe 7 or 8 years, and absolutely no yellowing at all. And I keep my paintings in front of the window. So other things that are must-haves when you are pouring resin is your mask. You always want to protect your lungs. You want to be in a very well ventilated area when you're pouring resin. And this is my go-to. I believe I found this on Amazon. You can also get refillable filters for the mask as well. And I usually use plastic cups to fill and measure my resin. I'm not a big measuring person, but of course, ArtResin has everything covered, because if you want to know all the technical data about measuring and coverage and square footage and ideal room temperature, literally they have everything on the back of this little pamphlet. You can also go online to ArtResin for a guide and further information. So that is really, really cool. So now that we have all of that covered, we are finally able to get started. So let's get to pouring. So we are going to get started by mixing equal parts hardener and resin in our plastic cups. If you don't use measuring devices like I do, just make sure you have equal parts hardener and equal parts resin in each cup, and use the lines to line them up so they are equal. As you can see, there are equal parts hardener and equal parts resin. And so now we will stir the 2 together. It's important to stir for 3 full minutes and not too fast so you don't have too many bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and add some Recollections iridescent glitter to my resin. Not that much, as you can see, about 3 shakes is enough. And now we are about to pour. Now that we are finished pouring our resin, we're going to go ahead and use our handy spreader to spread the resin across the tray. Make sure you're pushing the resin all the way to the edge, and be sure not to leave any bare spots. Sometimes it's helpful to look at the tray from a different angle so you can see if you have any bare spots on your project. Now that we're done with the pour, we're going to go ahead and use our master's torch. Really easy to use. I actually like using this a lot better than my heat gun, just because the heat gun pushes the resin around. The master's torch simply just pops the bubbles. So we're going to go ahead and place our handles on the tray. I like to place the handles in the wet resin just because it's easier to adhere them. You don't have to worry about screws. I make sure that I have equal distance on each side of my handle to make sure it's symmetrical on the tray. And then we are ready to cover our project. I usually use a canvas and a couple of cans of paint. So our tray has cured overnight, and I realized that I did not put frog tape or painter's tape on the back of my tray. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these resin drips using a heat gun and a knife. It's actually super easy. You just heat up your resin drips for a couple of seconds, and they come off super easy with the knife. Make sure it is going away from you to prevent injury. After we're all dry, I'm going to go ahead and add my felt pads to the bottom. I purchased these from Home Depot, and they are definitely my favorite to use on all my trays. Now we're going to go ahead and add our cork backing to our tile. I purchased this from Amazon. It's self-adhesive, really easy to use. And that is the end of our project. As you can see, this tray turned out so beautiful. You guys, I'm absolutely in love with the colors. I'm in love with the way the ArtResin just made everything pop and glisten. I mean, look at the sparkle. I would definitely encourage all of you to get out there. Don't be afraid to start your own resin project. As you can see, this was super easy to do. and ArtResin makes it so easy for beginners. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram at QZ Design Gallery. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.